Welcome back to the Ben Mulroney Show. We've had a heck of a show today. There's been a lot of ups and downs, some laughs, some less than laughs.
Yeah, you started crying at one point.
I did not.
No, there was no tears.
Well, yeah.
There's no crying in baseball.
There's no crying at the Ben Mulroney Show. Actually, there could be. There could be. I've cried plenty of times. Okay, so we wanted to talk about Donald Trump. There's...
oh, my.
Yeah, okay, so strap in for this because this is interesting. Okay, so the Syrian president, Ahmed al-Sharaa, visited the White House. And he's a former Al-Qaeda commander. He was once branded a terrorist by Washington. There's a $10 million bounty on his head. And he stood alongside Donald Trump in what marked the first official visit by a Syrian leader to the White House since Syria's independence from France in 1946. That's a bananas statement. Everything that was read there is crazy.
Yeah.
Like crazy.
It's a huge deal.
This guy was an Al-Qaeda commander.
Yeah.
When they were overthrown, there was this power vacuum. A lot of people were wondering what was going to happen, and this guy took over, and a lot of people have been worried about him. But I guess you don't worry about that in those moments. And
they need somebody in charge.
Yeah.
There.
And anyway, so Donald Trump gave a very unique gift to this man, and he gave him his own cologne, Trump cologne.
And also, but you have to visualize the Trump cologne bottle.
Yeah, but
it looks like a trophy, and the trophy part is Trump. Like it's basically like a little statue of Trump on top.
When I saw this video, I thought it was AI generated. I couldn't believe it was real because so he sprays him with it. And
sprays him.
And when he sprays him with it, he's got some questions for him. Let's listen to the conversation between the Syrian president, who's a former Al-Qaeda terrorist,
getting spritzed,
and Donald Trump, the president of the United States, offering the former terrorist his cologne and spritzing him as you would at Bloomingdale's at Christmas.
This is men's fragrance. Yeah. It's the best fragrance. Come here, man.
I have more here, sir.
Okay. So what we'll do is just take that, Joe, put it in, and then the other one is for your wife. How many wives? You guys I never know, right?
Because you never know how many
wives. Because you never know.
But he spritzed everyone like a full-on spritz.
That's just. Just special. That's a high watermark for me in terms of like Trumpisms. How many wives? Because you never know with you guys.
So what's more offensive, spraying somebody? Because is he suggesting that he stinks, and just spraying him, and then he starts spraying everyone else in the room?
I'm not looking at any of it as offensive. Does Donald Trump mean to be offensive?
Oh God, no. He's
he's a stream of consciousness, is whatever he says. I kind of find that to be charming as all hell because it's just. I mean, it is what it is.
But so we're talking about like gifts for presidents, for prime ministers and stuff. But I mean, hey, you know something about that. What's the worst gift your dad ever got?
Well, I don't know that we're any bad gifts. There were some odd gifts.
You got a lot. Did you get it?
Whenever people give us gifts for my dad on trips, we would put them in what we called the Brian Mulroney Museum, which was the crawl space behind underneath our back stairs. And that was the Brian Mulroney Museum. But in there was an ostrich egg that my dad was given. And there was a pinhole at the top of it that they used to drain out the egg, the yolk and the white, and they cleaned it out. And then an artist used a long horsehair, and he would dip it in paint, and he would put it through the hole, and he would, with one brushstroke, and then pull it out, and do another brushstroke, and pull it out, and another brushstroke, until he had painted my dad's portrait on the inside of the ostrich.
How good was the portrait?
You held it up and looked through the tiny little hole, and you held it to the light, you could see a perfect portrait of my dad. How good was it? Very good.
Wow.
And it was so odd that it belonged in the Brian Mulroney Museum.
Where did he get it from? Do you remember?
I have no idea.
Ostrich.
I genuinely don't know. It was that we never got past how weird and how do you develop that skill? How do you know that this is something you can do?
Who does this for the first time?
Yeah.
You know what? I got an ostrich egg and a horsehair. Let's see what I can do.
Let's see what I can do. I've always wondered about those things. Those things we take for granted in life. Somebody had to come up with that with version 1, Mark 1 of that thing. And it was probably nothing like the final. And how do you get there?
Yeah. I think back then, though, when your dad was prime minister, there was no sort of limit on what you could get. Now you have to declare them. You have to declare everything because you're not allowed to accept anything because there's monetary value.
I think I've said it before, and I'll say it again. What I'm about to say is in no way a criticism of him in any way, but one of the greatest collectors of First Nations art in this country is our former Prime Minister, Jean Chrétien, because he was the head of Indian Affairs or Aboriginal Affairs or whatever it was called. And every time he would go on a trip within Canada, as well as to visit Aboriginal groups from outside of Canada, he would be gifted incredible things. And back then they didn't have the limits. And so he consequently has, from what I've been told, one of the most incredible collections of First Nations art in anywhere in the world.
He should put it in a museum.
You know what? Why? Hey, listen, he was in politics for a long time. You deserve to keep the stuff you get.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks so much for watching the show. Now, if you enjoyed what you saw, hit that subscribe button so you never miss another episode of The Ben Mulroney Show.